Hello everybody and welcome back to Stellaris, where we are currently working on, I believe, building hyper relays, correct? Yeah, here, and we're working... Where's our other construction ship at? Right, back in Mechas. Okay, so that's fine. I believe we already concluded all of our upgrades, primarily, well, paying for all of our upgrades anyway. We're only 39% done here, primarily because of that influx from meeting the scrappers. So that was absolutely useful, and we have quite a lot of upgrades to go here. We've got some corvettes, destroyers, and battleships queued up as well. So for the time being, our primary concern is going to be getting these initial hyper relay lanes completed. So that'll be the goal for right now. We also need to get our defense stations up, right? So that's a lot of strain on our alloy production. We're going to be working on that. Alloy production is absolutely something that does need to be worked on. I would also like to upgrade this to a Starhold, but we don't have the Starhold tech yet, so we'll get there for that one. How much are each of these hyper relays? Okay, about 500. That's relatively expensive, to be honest. We're going to have a bit of a hard time keeping up with that. Okay, so that's noted. Tile blocker clearances, absolutely great. Society research from brain drones is something that we should probably grab here. Antimatter reactors are going to be finishing up. And we're just now finishing our upgrades as well. So that's mildly awkward, to be sure. Awkward timing on that one. So we have a decision to make here. Are we going to do a hyper relay out this way first? I think the answer is yes. So what we would do is we would build a hyper relay here. That's fine for now. Antimatter reactor finishes, and we're not going to immediately upgrade our ships. Gateway travel. I have a really hard time passing this up. We're going to go for it. It's a while away. Okay. For now, that's fine. This construction ship, of course, needs to head over to Terrazed, and we're going to want to build... Okay, we need rare crystals for that, too. How many rare crystals are we making per month? 7? That's not a ton. Okay, we could buy in 100 rare crystals for right now. That's acceptable. And we'll do something like that. Cool. Now, I'm not going to further expand our fleets for the moment. We're going to need to do that. Ah, yes, our research agreement. So we're going to need to pay for this as well. We'll sell off some food here. We'll sell off quite a lot of minerals, and that gives us what we need. So we'll purchase that service. That's absolutely fine. On our tech world here, we require a job. I'm going to put in a pair of crystal mines. There's also 2 moat harvesting traps that we can put in here. I don't love the amount of building slots that takes up. In fact, I kind of hate the amount of building slots that takes up. But it's also kind of useful, at least for the moment. It might become less useful later, and we'll probably swap those out for additional science production. So that'll be the idea there. This tech world needs a job, and that is definitely something we'll build a research lab on. So that'll be fine. No issues there. And up here in Terrazed, that is going to be done soon enough. Yeah, I'm just thinking about our alloy production right now, right? So our alloy production is not really where we want it to be, although we could certainly come through and upgrade these to level 4 antimatter reactors. So that means that we can drop our reactor booster here, and we could either go for afterburners. It's really only 2% evasion, or an additional auxiliary fire control. And I think that's what we'll go for there on the destroyer. For the cruisers, we can now drop these advanced reactor boosters and go for fire control here as well. I think that's acceptable. And then for our battleship, we're already in a decent position here, although I'd like to swap like this. There we go. And our battleships are... Why do we have this? We shouldn't have that auto battleship. It's this battleship that we want to be working on. Okay, so we're at plus 330 here. We could definitely afford to get better shields, and we'd like to get, like, kinetic artillery eventually. But for now, this will do just fine. So, we currently have this battleship being queued up. I'm going to cancel it. And then we're going to re-upgrade these. So 500 and 300. Okay. For now, that's fine. And we're going to bank up alloys for just a little bit here. Who's here? Mining drone expansion fleet. Okay. Interesting. So for now, that's all absolutely fine. Ah, we finished an archaeological site. So that was the one up in Betelgeuse. It's alive. The Aurora is in fact some previously unknown form of life? There's some kind of enigmatic semi-sentient entity living in the upper atmosphere. Somehow it can manipulate magnetism and ionization, tweaking the atmosphere to display lights in the sky according to its unknowable alien whims. Some theorize it's trying to communicate, some believe it's merely playing, or even singing with lights. The Xenology department reports all attempts at translation are utterly futile, given the totally incompatible physiology of this entity. Is it trying to send us a warning? Lament its dead world? Gloating in triumph? All we can do is leave it there in the sky to sing its alien song. Okay, so monthly energy credits plus 5%. That's actually really good. So now, after we're done in Betelgeuse, we can head over to Orval and get that going. Wonderful. We found signs of water all over this world. For all we know, it should still be here. The temperatures are within the normal range for liquid water to exist, and there's still an atmosphere, albeit tenuous, and yet everything here is dry, and what vegetation exists is parched. In addition, scans have revealed traces of another spacefaring civilization on the planet. The archaeological team will have two goals: find out what happened to the water, and understand what other spacefarers have been doing here, maybe taking the water. Most hypotheses are already linking the two, and some in the team believe that this might have been the work of water thieves. Yeah, it was my first thought, so it probably wasn't. Realistically. So off we go. Here we're going to be settling Nithascal fairly soon, actually. 240 days until that's done. This construction ship needs to continue to construct, so we'll build a hyper relay out over here. All of these in this like W shape are going to need hyper relays, which is mild. Realistically, we want to build one probably everywhere, but for now we're going to be a little bit slower, right? So for now, that's okay.
Council
We're
agenda
definitely
available.
getting some good progress here. Okay, finding the voice is no longer on cooldown. We're going to get infinite opportunities fairly soon. Okay, here on this agro world, we're lacking housing, of all things. Now, it's not really much of an agro world. I'm going to put in a hive district for now, and that'll do for the moment.
Our swarm is strengthened.
Excellent. So there's our upgrades done. We're currently rocking about 25,000 total. Once we get these built up, that'll be very good. This tech world has a tile blocker clearance, and we should definitely clear at least one of them. We can grab an expansion title here, or I guess an expansion tradition. New colonies start with an additional pop. Sure, we're probably not going to get too much out of that, but I'd love to get that pop growth speed. And there's Nithascal being done. So, I mean, this will give us an additional pop here. That's something. And I think we'll get one on Kerpus Prime as well, but we definitely want to head out to Nithascal as soon as we can. We have a number of stations that are still being worked on, and that will take some time. For right now, we're going to not build in Voldop and Betelgeuse. We'll come back to that. And we definitely want to build here. There we go. Insight Breakthrough is imminent, and our rare crystals, we're currently at plus 11, plus 14 now. That's much better. There's Kerbis being established, so we'll grab this. We want a spawning pool, we want a synaptic node, and we want a hive district. So that'll be fine for now. We'll probably get rid of those synaptic nodes eventually, but for now it'll do. And what is this? Archaeological excavation speed? Do it. The crew clearing the glacier on Soteria Prime has made a breathtaking discovery. Lodged kilometers deep within the ice is a colossal alien space station. Architecturally stunning and built with technology far superior to our own, it's a true work of art. The station appears to have crashed to the surface, surviving the impact thanks to its unusual shielding capacities, which our scientists are now eager to examine. Regrettably, an archaeological excavation would prevent us from working the land until its completion. We'll definitely do that. We'll excavate that site. So we found a new archaeological dig, and that is here on Soteria. Okay. Looks good. This construction ship is idle. We're going to head over to Rodan for right now. And I am going to hit this reinforced fleet button, bringing that fleet up to full strength. And that is going to queue up just the battleship, just the one battleship. Okay. We don't want to go too far over our naval cap if we can help it, although we want to raise our naval cap for sure. So once we're done here, we're going to head into Sasaya, and we need to get like our initial outlay of these so that we can get around, right? That's the goal. We want to be able to respond to various threats. So we'll get there. That'll be absolutely fine. We're currently capped on influence. What can we do to spend influence? We could make claims, I suppose. I don't think that we have any edicts costing influence at this moment. No. So if we were to go over to, like, these guys. Last we knew they were pathetic to us. We have no idea what they're like now. But we could come over to them. Who are they allied with? Nobody. So we could certainly make some claims here, spending down at like a quarter of our influence. For now, we'll do that. Beautiful. So that'll be okay. The discovery on More Hisredu? That's a lot of consonants in a row. Of vast canyons is filled with mushrooms provided us with the beginning of an answer. The water is inside the mushrooms. They seem to span a large part of the surface of the world, all connected to the same mycelium, which technically makes it a single organism, and one of the biggest we've ever seen. Some of the members of the team dubbed this humongous fungus the Fumungus. I like it. I like it. That's excellent. It looks like the mushrooms have been genetically altered and had completely taken over the ecosystem that once existed there. Their unbridled and accelerated growth was such that they absorbed most of the water that was present here. They subsequently entered a sort of dried-up, dormant state in which most of the fungus is still alive, with water spread out over the whole organism. Curious. What happens if we reintroduce water? I'm sure problems ensue. We have a level up here, and archaeological investigation is absolutely good here. Yeah, that'll be fine.
We sense spaceborne life.
So we're going to continue to expand our hyper relay network up here. We need to push our network at least up to Markob, going this direction, and then out here I want to push it out to Alinmi. Ideally up to Taramda as well. I want to fill in like basically everything up over here, but for now, this will do. Our surface expedition has reported back about some astounding findings. This is related to the City of Ghosts, by the way. The planet has multiple major cities, all abandoned but in quite good shape considering their age. The infrastructure and urban planning of each city is remarkably structured and harmonious, indicating a highly cohesive civilization, driven by centralized collective ideals, perhaps even a Gestalt consciousness of some kind. Based on the architecture and interior fixtures, the species that built all of this seems to have been small fungoids, with a fairly low state of technological advancement. Where exactly they all went remains unknown, and we'll look into that. Cool. So we're going to be done in Rodan here very soon, and we'll head into Markob next. That is absolutely going to be the goal there. Now, we're making more influence than we're spending on all of this. Our primary limiting factor here is absolutely alloys, I think, but I think we can afford to get a third construction ship going on this, and that would not be a bad thing. We can grab infinite opportunities here, and we would then go for finding the voice. Beautiful. So that'll be fine. We're at 133 out of 134 naval cap right now, so we definitely need to work on that. Our colonists on Cheleb Prime are still encountering scattered survivors from the mutated creatures that spawned after we finished the planet's aborted terraforming process. Most are relatively harmless and can be put out of their misery by local militia forces, but one creature in particular has been spreading terror in our outlying settlements. There are reports of it stalking our citizens, and there have been dozens of unexplained disappearances. The mutilated remains of the security team that was sent to investigate the matter were recently discovered, prompting the colony's leaders to request off-world military support. Okay, so a special project to kill the marauding. Sounds good. So we need to have... Oh, we need to just research it. Cool. Get that underway. So there's Nithoscal actually being settled. Wonderful. It's not going to be done for a while, but that's fine. The pre-FTL aliens of Kerbis 4 have advanced sufficiently in their use of metallurgy to be considered an Iron Age civilization. The tools and weapons they make use of are becoming more effective, and the architecture of their cities has become more elaborate. Their civilization is now spread to cover most of the planet, and some of their largest cities are home to nearly 1 million individuals. It was bound to happen. So this generator world requires housing. Intriguing. I'm tempted to build an industrial district here, and that's what I'm going to do. Now, this construction ship is going to head out to Nashira. Right. It's going to be rare crystals. That's going to be what we're running into a limiting factor on. So for now, that's fine. I'm going to sell off some minerals to keep us afloat on the energy credit front, and we'll build a hyper relay out over here. Okay. So rare crystals are going to be the primary concern. We need an engineering research, and impulse thrusters would be a good one. So would flak cannons. There's so much that I want here. There's so much that I want. Starholds would be good. I'm going to go for flak cannons here. So for now, that'll do. And we'll continue to work our way through the technologies. We're also continuing to develop our planets here. That is, of course, a slow process. That's fine. Okay, so we finish up in Sasaya over here. We can absolutely grab a hyper relay into Toian. So that'll be good. And in Markov, we are nearly done. I'm fully expecting us to run into significant rare crystal issues. So I'm going to buy in another 100 here. And we're going to be building out this direction. We could connect up here. And then build out up here. And then connect down this direction, right? And then build out... There's a lot that we need to build. We have kind of awkward hyperspace lanes, and getting these cleaned up would be very good. We do need to head up over this way, and we'll definitely do that. Rare crystals are absolutely our limiting factor here. After an extensive search, our forces on Chelid Prime managed to corner the mutated beast that had been killing our colonists. A special forces team ventured into the creature's lair and managed to kill it after a vicious battle. The grisly remains of hundreds of butchered colonists were found in the nest, as well as half a dozen traumatized survivors that appear to have been kept alive for later consumption. The beast's colossal head has been parted from its body and now serves as the regimental symbol of the forces that were directly involved in its demise. Okay, so we no longer have a marauding creature. Excellent. So that's great. As soon as we're done building in Coder, we should head down to, like, Jardlafon down here. Yeah, that's definitely where we should go next. So, of course, we're done in Nashira. We need to head up over here. And how are we doing on those rare crystals? Well, we need more. So we'll buy some in, and I'm going to sell off some food to keep us afloat financially. And as soon as we're done in Titoian, head into Coder. That'll be fine. We can also consider building up our fleet a bit more. That would end up going over our naval cap, and I'm not sure that's something that we want to do at this exact moment. We'll think about it. For now, the naval cap is definitely a pretty big concern. Although that's something we can deal with later. We need to get a lot of star bases going. We know that for a fact. Tramboden would be the ideal location to defend here, rather than Taramda. Taramda we can kind of just give up if there's a war with the Velert Enlightened Kingdom here. Which they're pretty big, honestly. I do think going after the Otharians is a good idea. Eventually. The question is when. Analysis of the crashed machinery turned out to give all the answers. The machines were huge energy cutters, flying around in orbit, cutting and sculpting the surface landscape with powerful laser beams. One of the machines contained data fragments that explained that the entire planet-shaping project was a custom job ordered by an unknown client, indicating some market-driven civilization of tremendous capability. This just gave whole new meaning to the concept of terraforming. So we get 2,000 minerals out of it, and we get 25% progress on the Ancient Cavitation Collapser. Okay. We're probably not going to be pursuing ancient weapons, so that's not, I think, the biggest of deals. As soon as we're done up over here, we want to head into Jardlafon, which we'll definitely be doing. And the ISF Zofmul is not currently doing anything, so we want to send that over to probably Soteria. There we go. A crashed alien space station has been unearthed on Soteria Prime after being buried for many millennia. The masterful construction previously held a self-contained arthropoid civilization of millions. Their dead bodies must have been preserved within the station, making exploration of the otherwise magnificent interior an eerie endeavor. Though the cause of their civilization's demise is not yet clear, the inhabitants perished suddenly, well before impact. Some died peacefully, clutching tiny idols, while others, bearing weapons, suffered violent trauma. So there's gateway travel done. That's great. We're going to grab research speed for positronic implants. We're also going to grab Gauss cannons. That's good. And Nithoscal Prime is now done, so we're of course going to build our spawning pool, synaptic node, and hive district up there. This Forge world requires a job. That, of course, means an industrial district. We're delighted to do that. And a job on Soteria Prime does mean a hive district because we need a building slot here. Okay. Deep in the heart of the mycelial forest, nestled in the canyons of Morchresedu, that's definitely not how that's pronounced, we discovered some sort of bunker, long overrun by mushrooms. The team believes that it was built by the same species that genetically altered the mushrooms here. Large sections of the bunker have collapsed, and a lot of the equipment within it is likely broken beyond repair, but we've identified some sealed rooms that might hold exploitable material. Notably, no alien remains have been found here. Maybe they abandoned the place, or else didn't leave behind any body parts that weren't absorbed by the local wildlife.
Is complete.
Okay, so we finished up in the Tramboden station. So we, of course, want to build, for now, a pair of gun batteries here. And we'll build... What were we building here? We didn't actually build here? Okay. Target uplink computer. Sure. So target uplink computer and a pair of gun batteries. And a target uplink computer here. That looks good. And over here we need a target uplink computer and a pair of gun batteries. For now, that will do. And of course we're lacking in a bunch of our defensive stations. But for the moment, this is what we're doing. We're going to run out of energy credits soon. Minus 41. Wow. Okay. On our capital... I'm going to put in a generator district. We're very negative on our energy credits all of a sudden. We're also basically done with all of our stations. Actually, we are done with all of our stations, so that's definitely interesting. We do want to go into Trapper eventually. I don't think that we can really make the argument that we have the Force yet. So Nashira Prime is, of course, a mining world, and I'd love to build a mineral extraction plant here, but we're going to build a mining district, so a mineral processing is actually the term I'm looking for. That would be great, but we're just going to put in a mining district for now. Society research from brain drones. Okay, what else do we need here? Well, there's a lot of things in progress here. Hydroponics farms would probably be a good thing to unlock, though. We'll grab that for now, and on Nashira Prime, we do have tile blockers that we can clear out. Or we could if energy credits weren't an issue. They're a significant issue now. Okay, 63. That's getting bad. That's getting quite bad. We are full on our influence again, so we're going to come over here and continue to make claims on these guys' systems. So, I mean, this is quite expensive, no doubt about that. But we can actually make a claim on every single system of theirs that we know about. We know they have to have these, right? They definitely have all of this, but we don't see it yet, and so we can't make a claim on it yet. So we'll claim every single one of their systems for now. This tech world requires a housing. It's not really a tech world, is it? For the moment, it could be a tech world. I think it's probably better off to be a Forge world, though. That said, we're at minus 63 energy credits, but we are working on that in other ways. I'm going to put in an industrial district here. We definitely need to deal with our energy credit situation. How much is the upkeep on each of these hyper relays? 2 energy credits. So that's definitely... It hurts a little bit, but it's definitely not all that we've been seeing. We'll head down to Farai, and in Jardlafon, we are lacking influence for this. That's okay. So that's going to be a couple of months before we have the influence. Further studies of the lost civilization of Nithoscow 5 have given rise to more questions than answers. The plain, sturdy structures are thousands of years old, and all seem to have been constructed at roughly the same time, perhaps as brief as a single century. Similarly, any additions or renovations to the urban structure seem to be done planet-wide at sudden, widely separated intervals. The oddly punctuated development of this society seems to show no appreciable change in population size, and we'll definitely keep digging on that one. And with that, it is time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that, and next episode, we're probably going to start thinking relatively strongly about attacking the Otharian Trade Association. That's going to be a fairly valuable move for us early on to essentially take over this entire quadrant of the galaxy. That's going to be a big deal for us. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Shadow Wolf, Andy McGar, Spartan News, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, Soccerman12UK, Kentogan, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.